What's poppin'? I'm Peter and today is Halloween. So happy Halloween, and if any of you are young enough to go trick-or-treating, I hope you have fun. In this video, obviously, I'm going to be showing you my haunted house that I've made, and by the way, if you clicked on this thinking it was a set, I'm flattered, but it's not. I hope everybody still enjoys the video though, because I spent some time on this one. And how about we actually start off this video with a spooky montage. First of all, I would like to clarify that I was trying to go for a set kind of vibe with this build, so if you actually clicked on this video thinking it was a set, well, I don't blame you. I kind of think it looks like one. Obviously, I don't work for LEGO, and I'm not a good enough builder to be working at LEGO, because they design some really good stuff nowadays. And of course, just like any set that is large, like this one is, there are a bunch of little side builds and a few minifigures. Definitely not as many minifigures as there would be in a real set though, because usually sets of this size have like 7 or 8. Aside from the set imitation kind of idea, I also was trying to make this look very spooky. I mean, it's a haunted house. Now, I didn't want to make this look like a Christmas build because that's kind of what it looked like for a while, but I added some pumpkins and some, I don't know, snakes and spiders and stuff, and the inside definitely gives it away that it's a haunted house. But more on that later. As for the outside, a lot of it just speaks for itself. I'm just going to do kind of like a slow pan around. You can kind of look at all the details, like the spider on the roof, the snake on the front. How did a snake even get there? I know snakes are really afraid of heights. I guess that wasn't the most realistic place to put one. Going back to the roof though, you can see the top, like the third floor, I guess, is kind of a weird shape, and that made the roof really difficult to do, although I think the spire turned out nice on top. I really like that. Just, there's a little bit of weird stuff in there. But you want to know what's weirder? The inside. It's actually, it's so much weirder. So, the interior. Do you like that baby holding dynamite? Yeah, me too. It's really, really creepy. Like, this thing is gonna haunt my nightmares, man. But try to block that out of your mind while I talk about the rest of this, because, yeah, that's coming. One thing that you might notice about the interior is that I tried to keep it basic and still have a lot of detail but not use every single part that I have, because number one, I'm going to keep this together afterwards, and number two, I wanted it to look more like a set, and sets kind of just have the minimum amount of detail that gets the job done. So when you come through the front door, which opens by the way, you're met with a rug, which is actually probably not what you would find in an actual set, but whatever. Next to the rug, there's a living room with a fireplace and some candles on top because, you know, light bulbs, who uses those? While we're on the subject of the living room, I'd like to mention this misshapen, that's not a word. Misshapen, disheveled old couch, maybe more of an armchair, because this thing is like, I use tan to kind of show it's like yellowed, and it's just lopsided. I mean, honestly, I maybe should have left it like brand new, because who walks into an abandoned house and finds brand new furniture? Moving on to the other side of the first floor, you can see there's just a kitchen with a head on the counter, a spider on the floor, maybe making some web or catching a fly or something, or maybe that's a bar of soap, who knows? There's also a map on the wall and a neon green oven. I don't know about the neon green oven. I just don't worry about it. Moving up the non-existent staircase, you come up to the second floor where you can see there's a chandelier that is overhanging the first floor with an actual light brick above it too, so that you can kind of get a little bit of light. It doesn't work that well. But yeah, spooky chandelier. There's also a bedroom with a spider on the ceiling, which, I mean, that's really scary. Like, spiders right above you while you sleep, that would creep me out. Yeah, obviously it's a bedroom, there's a bed, and a yellow frog on the floor for some reason. I don't know. Over on the other side, you have a toy room with Scary Baby. Scary Baby has managed to eat someone's raw flesh, or maybe cooked, maybe that's what the oven's for, play with dynamite, and somehow poop on their own head. What is wrong with this? There's even a box of toys that's completely untouched. Why would you play with dynamite? In the remaining time in this video, before the house blows up, I would also like to mention the attic, which has a telescope, and I don't know, that's it. The telescope is big. Let me know in the comments if any of you have actually looked through like a legitimate telescope, not just one you get like as a kid. Now that we've covered the whole interior of this haunted house, let's move on to the side builds. Okay, a couple of quick ones just to get them out of the way. This werewolf is from a Monster Fighter set. This car is also from a Monster Fighter set. I didn't have time to design a car by myself, so this car is actually from a real set. I don't know, maybe I'll include a picture of it. There's also a couple pieces of terrain to put outside the front of the house to blend it in with whatever it's on. There's also a tree just to include a tree. I always like having a little bit of foliage to, I don't know, make it look a little more natural. Obviously, you don't want it to look too urban if it's out in the middle of the woods. The biggest side build, however, is this miniature extension to the actual house. Now, I don't know if this would actually be like an outbuilding or if this would just be another branch of the house. It's kind of small, so maybe just an outbuilding, but obviously it's used for storage, and somebody probably died here. On the outside of this, there's just a little little bit more terrain, a little spoopy spoopy lantern. There's also a spooky lantern and a pumpkin. I mean, it's Halloween, what do you expect? Last little thing to talk about actually is the figures for this set. One of them is just a generic Lego skeleton. One of them is this detective I made, maybe not a detective, but a monster fighter of some sort. And of course, don't forget Scary Baby. I was originally intending to make this a doll, but it ended up being child-sized, so it's Scary Baby now. Somebody really ought to clean up that poop. With that said though, this video is probably starting to get a bit long, so go check out Zebrix's collab to recover from seeing Spooky Baby, because there is no Spooky Baby in that video, I assure you. By the way, I think Zebrix is actually one of my first 10 subscribers, so he's a real OG, you should go check him out. I've known him since March or April, and we've been planning this collab since probably August, so yeah, go check him out. It's worth it. That's all I have to say though, so thank you for watching. Just make sure to subscribe since you watched all the way to the end, and that's it, so see ya.